Hello and welcome to Group 15's International Business Plan of Expanding Dion's to Canada. This group is made up of LeFlore, Yesenia, Ponce, and Prairie. This international business plan includes the feasibility and the entry plan. The feasibility will cover some of the history, their menu, and their support of local organizations, and the entry plan will include why we want to expand to Canada and how we're going to choose which cities to go to, and our strategy of avoiding franchising and using expat managers. So let's look at Dion's background. They are a privately owned restaurant group founded in 1978. They have expanded into Colorado and Texas, and they create employment opportunities for young people and have a strong focus on local charities. Some of their core values include having great food, fast and friendly service, a clean and comfortable location, and being excellent and winning together. This means that they want continuous improvement in their business. They value resourcefulness, kindness, hard work. They want their employees to enjoy where they work while also supporting them and supporting their community. Dion's has some pretty good potential for expansion. They've done it before, and Canada would be a good fit culturally and economically. They have a focus on giving back to the community, which would really help in building goodwill in the host country. And the margins in Canada for takeaway pizza and subs are pretty good. And they also have the opportunity to convert existing restaurant spaces into Dion's properties instead of having to build from the ground up. Some of the pros Dion's has is that their menu is pretty versatile and would be easy to cater to local taste. They have a strong focus on training their team members, and they'll be able to hire locals and add to the local economy. There's a low barrier to entry for jobs, and they have franchise opportunities. Some of the cons of Dion's moving to Canada would be the low success rate of restaurants in general. Another would be the distance from the home base. They would be skipping over several states on the way to Canada and would face issues and risks like long-term sustainability, the impact on small businesses, and seasonal variations. We've reached the conclusion of our feasibility part of the presentation, and some things I wanted to reiterate are that Dion's current business model is built on expansion. They have practice with it, and that risk is inherent with any restaurant operation, and expanding to Canada will have the benefit of the capital and experience from the home country. Another thing is that the menu is easily exportable and customizable. And lastly, that international expansion is a good opportunity for Dion's and will just need to be carefully managed, especially in the beginning. To start the entry plan part of the presentation, we are going to look at the possible locations. We wanted cities with similar populations and population densities, and overall Winnipeg was the closest when looking at both of those criteria. Not only does Winnipeg have a similar size, they also have a history of hosting Hollywood productions, and in turn they have a higher level of cultural exchange already in place. And there's also the fact that Winnipeg is geographically closer to the US-Canada border. Taking a look at their menu, the base menu offerings like pizza, subs, salads, ranch dressings shouldn't really have an issue appealing to communities in Canada, but other menu items like green chili might have to be reduced due to the cost of import, and they could be replaced with similar local ingredients. Franchising is an option, and it would be an easier way to extend into Canada, but it would require giving up control. Franchisees might not uphold the same company values, and Dion's product might be difficult to replicate without more direct involvement. They would also be losing the opportunity for cultural exchange and growth for their managers. If Dion's were to go with the franchise option, some possible locations include pizzerias like closed down Pizza Huts, Papa John's, mom and pop restaurants. Along the same lines, vacant restaurant spaces like Italian restaurants, old diners, and other options include college campuses, retail food courts, spaces, and other bakery spaces. If Dion's goes with the expat managers option, they would be able to ensure more consistency of their product, training, and company values. Also, the restaurants are built on training staff into leadership positions, so eventually the Canadian restaurants would be managed by locals. The direct management would also mean consistent support and capital from the parent company, which will increase their chances of success. To start our market analysis, we're going to look at some key players and competitors. For pizza, it would be Pizza Pizza and Boston Pizza. For subs, Mr. Sub and Quiznos. And for salads, Freshie and Chop Leaf. The market size for fast food, casual dining, fine dining, and cafes is estimated at 89 billion Canadian dollars annually. And growth trends include urbanization, changing demographics, and an increased demand for convenience. Continuing with our market analysis, people are wanting healthier options, convenience, and seasonal influences, which are all things Dion's would be able to provide. We are going to take a look at some of Dion's competitors in Canada with SWOT analysis. Some of the shared strengths these competitors have are their menus and their established brand presence. Their weaknesses vary with limited focuses on deliveries, reliance on traditional marketing, or inconsistent quality across locations. Their opportunities can be related to their menu, offering healthier options and targeting local advertising. Some of the threats they all have are intense competitions and changing customer preferences. Continuing with our SWOT analysis on our competitors, their strengths also include flavor variety and their focus on good ingredients. Their shared weaknesses include franchisee dissatisfaction and the quality being varied in franchises. Some of their opportunities include menu innovation, meal delivery services, and possible partnerships with other brands. And their threats include intense competitions and economic uncertainty. Something Dion's will have to look into is the legal and regulatory environment. This includes things like permits and licenses for business, health, food handling, and building permits if needed. The food safety standards in Canada and being able to comply with Canadian food safety regulations and adhering to Canadian food inspection agencies. The cost of compliance, like obtaining the permits, licenses to be able to meet those food safety standards. They will also have to allocate resources to avoid legal issues and pay attention to what provinces and cities they're in, as local regulations will vary. Once Dion's is settled in Canada through their expat managers, they can look more into franchising, and this is helpful because they will have more cultural insight, established networks, community connection, risk mitigation, and accelerated growth. Moving on, we're looking at some of Dion's product and service adaptations. An example is their menu. They can include more Canadian-inspired dishes or ingredients, or adjust portion sizes. Their pricing strategy might have to change based on their competitors and value perception. Their service model might have to change due to cultural sensitivities, efficiency, and technology. They're also going to have to maintain their core values like quality ingredients, authenticity, and community engagement. Dion's will also have to work and look at their marketing and promotion. They can include things like social media campaigns, local advertising, community engagement events, special offers, building good online reviews and reputation management, as well as local partnerships and sponsorships. Lastly, Dion's will have to pay attention to some operational considerations like the supply chain management and local staffing, which will include things like recruitment, training, and integration. Thank you so much for listening to our international business plan on expanding Dion's to Canada.